All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. And today we are talking all about you.
That's right.
You and your relationship with noise.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all kind of have that experience, right, where a sound just gets under your skin.
Absolutely.
So we are going to take a deep dive into a mini personality test
Okay.
from the Spiritual Seek. And it's all about noise sensitivity.
Noise sensitivity. Ours.
So let's just jump right into it, and we'll go statement by statement
Okay.
from this test.
All right.
And unpack what it might reveal about you as a person.
Sounds good.
Okay, so the first one is, the barking of dogs annoys me a lot.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I have to admit, sometimes this one really gets to me, especially when I'm trying to work.
Well, and it's interesting because I think with that one, it can reveal a lot about how easily you are startled or distracted.
Okay.
You know, dog barking is a very sudden, sharp sound.
Right.
And it can kind of show us how our sensory processing is working or how sensitive you are to just input in general.
Right.
So if you find that that sound is really sending your stress levels through the roof, it might be worth exploring some techniques for sensory overload.
Okay. All right.
too.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Next statement. The noise of cars at speed is irritating.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this one really depends on context, right?
Definitely.
Like, are you driving down a beautiful country road,
right.
or are you in, like, bumper-to-bumper traffic?
Exactly. And this one, I think, reveals a lot about
Right.
our tolerance for the hum of modern life in general.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is the frequency of that engine noise.
Mm-hmm.
It actually can be quite jarring for some people.
Hey,
It falls into a range that our ears are very highly attuned to,
Wow.
which can explain why that one might be more stressful than other sounds for some people.
Huh. I never even thought about, like, the frequency of the
Yeah.
sound. All right, next up we have, why do people have to speak so loudly?
Oh, I relate to this one
I do too.
a little bit.
And honestly, I'm guilty of it sometimes,
Yeah.
but I'm really curious to know what it means
Right.
in the context of this.
Yeah, well, this one, I think a lot of times it can boil down to social norms and just personal boundaries.
Right.
Right. I mean, some cultures naturally are just louder than others.
Of course. Yeah.
But on an individual level, finding loud voices irritating
yeah.
can actually show us
Okay.
that maybe you prefer a more controlled environment
Yeah.
or you're really sensitive to sudden changes in volume.
Interesting.
Okay, you know.
All right, let's move on to statement number 4. At night, I wake up at the slightest noise.
Oh, yeah.
I 100% relate to this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a super light sleeper.
Yeah, this is a classic sign of noise sensitivity,
Really?
especially during sleep,
Because
because this one can often point to hypervigilance, which is just like a state of increased alertness
Right.
that can be triggered by stress or anxiety.
Interesting.
And so the slightest sound can really
Yeah.
disrupt sleep. And of course, research shows how important sleep is
Right.
for mood and focus and even, long-term health.
Right.
So,
Yeah, no wonder I need those earplugs.
exactly.
Okay, we've got 2 more statements to go.
Okay.
This one is interesting. Military aircraft make an unbearable din.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if I personally had this experience.
Yeah, this one really goes beyond those everyday annoyances.
Right.
And touches on the impact of just sudden and intrusive noises. And,
Yeah.
for someone who's very noise sensitive, a sound like that can actually trigger that fight or flight response,
Oh, wow.
which can lead to prolonged stress
Interesting.
and discomfort.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, last statement. I can't stand the television and music at high volume.
I feel like everyone knows someone like this.
I do.
Yeah.
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 What does that say about someone?
Well, I think it really highlights the need to control your sonic environment.
Okay.
Right? Because some people, they thrive in
Yeah.
really lively, sound-rich settings.
Yeah.
And others, they find it overwhelming. And so this one can suggest maybe you prefer quieter spaces.
Right.
And you're very aware of how volume impacts your well-being.
That makes sense. Okay, so we've gone through
We did it.
all 6 of the statements.
Yes.
Now, the Spiritual Seek says you tally up how many of those
Okay.
really resonated with you.
Right.
If you didn't check any boxes, you likely have a high tolerance
Oh, wow.
for noise.
Okay.
1 or 2 boxes suggest moderate sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 certain sounds might be challenging for you.
Okay.
But 5 or 6 checked boxes points towards hypersensitivity.
Okay.
Where actively managing your sound environment is probably really important for you to feel good.
And what's important to remember is there's no right or wrong here.
That's true.
It's about understanding yourself and creating an environment that supports you.
Totally. Okay, so I have a question for all of you listening out there.
Yeah.
What does your ideal soundscape look like?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And how can you create more of that in your daily life?
Yeah.
Could be noise-canceling headphones. Could be spending more time in nature.
Absolutely.
Something to think about.
That's a good takeaway.
So until next time, keep exploring your inner world.
Yes.
One sound at a time.
I love it.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.